I'm going to go over the compensation structure, and we're going to make this PowerPoint. If everyone likes it and they can understand it wonderfully, then we'll go ahead and button it down and make it available in a series of other PowerPoints that will be available. Just know that this compensation structure has specifically been changed, and I have altered our structure for our wellness professional program, really as a result of Amanda Bobbitt. So you all can give her a virtual hug and what have you, but we basically are changing this structure to benefit individuals like yourselves that are going to promote in the way that you are. So let me start off with going to the first slide, and that is, I developed the company to enable individuals to enjoy life more fully, live their divine potential. I really believe that everyone has a divine potential, and I would love for everyone to accomplish their divine potential. And one of the ways that we're not able to is because of oxidative stress and inflammation as the leading cause of disease, and as well improving gut function to make sure that we have our antioxidant and our immune function. 70% of our immune function is tied to gut health. So this is really what we're about as a company. Because I'm a medical professional, because I'm a doctor, I have always sold through doctors' offices, and we'll be adding 3,000 chiropractic offices and functional MD offices in the next 12 to 18 months. So this is really where we focused as a company. And now I'm very excited and really excited about Amanda coming and all of you coming and those that will come, because doctors are wonderful, but you can actually do in many ways even more good for individuals than doctors can, because they're going to be limited in many ways to the 20 people or 30 people a day that come in their offices. You can reach millions of people and help them. And so this is our headquarters in Pleasant Grove, Utah. We are right on Pleasant Grove Boulevard. We have a beautiful building I'm very grateful for. I purchased that building in 2020, and we were able to be there, and it's a gorgeous building. We have an event center, we have our video center, we have our warehouse, it's 25,000 square feet, the building. So we have some nice room, and this is where we are now headquartered and function fully out of this space. These are the product categories. So you have more than just water systems to sell. Of course, we're known as a company, because I was the first person to develop a hydrogen system in the world as far as water goes, really to make a system, the first ever, that really did not change pH to get hydrogen. In the past, as you all know, the technology had not advanced to be able to make hydrogen water without affecting pH or changing pH. But that's really what I wanted to accomplish, and that's what I did accomplish. And so we do have Echo Water, which is a trademark, registered trademark name. We have our reverse osmosis system. We have our Synergy Resonance, which is our frequency systems. We have a home filtration system. We have our sauna, and we have our EMF protection. Now, just so you know, in the near future, and I just started testing it yesterday, we have a nitric oxide product that is amazing, and we'll have it in 2 different formats. We'll also very soon have our chocolate and vanilla superfood drink. And then a little bit further down the road, we'll finish with our air purification, because we are having that made from the ground up specifically for us. So there are some products that you can change some lives with. So now we'll get into why you're all here, the compensation. So I'm going to go over some terminology first. What we call individuals that promote our products, we call them wellness professionals. And this is an individual who desires to be properly trained so they can appropriately educate and promote Synergy Science Incorporated products. We have a training period. this training period. So everything I'm going to go over is what we call things and why. There's a reason for everything I do. There's a reason for everything we as a company do. So again, the terminology we use for individuals wanting to sell our products are wellness professionals. They each have a training period. We have a Synergy Science University, which is the opportunity to review studies and to understand hydrogen science and other technologies that we have, and actually get a certification that you can print out and show in a binder, put on a wall. But it shows that you've spent some time educating yourself, becoming a professional, because we're calling you a professional. So there needs to be some time invested. But this training period is the time that it takes a wellness professional to become educated on what to say, what not to say, policies, procedures, and how to process transactions. Because there is this training period, and because this training period is really important to me personally and to us as a company, we have a training bonus. This training bonus is compensation for training the individual that you've brought to the company, and you're going to educate, train, and mentor them in the process of marketing and promoting SSI products. The final terminology is overrides. Overrides are compensation for finding, training, and coaching an individual to become educated and successfully promote our products. So these are the terminologies that we want to have everyone understanding and using, because it's going to be important when we talk about specific things that you understand what these words mean. Because we could call this a commission program, or we could say, hey, I want my commission. But if we all understand what we mean when we use the word commission versus an override versus a training bonus, it's really important. So commission is compensation to a wellness professional for finding, educating, and accomplishing a sale. This sale typically will be to a customer. It can be a second machine for themselves, but typically it will be for a customer. This is the only person that receives commission in our system, and they're the individual that finds, educates, an individual that decides to purchase a product of ours. So that's the only person that ever gets commission in our system. Now, this is semantics, so just understand this is semantics, but I want everyone to use the word, when we say commission, we're talking about a wellness professional who sold a product to someone. A training bonus. This is compensation given for training a wellness professional that you have introduced to Synergy Science so that they can properly represent SSI and its products and services. The training responsibility includes education on the science, how to present science and studies, Synergy Science Incorporated products, how to use the back office marketing tools, policies, procedures, and most importantly, how to process a transaction when they're wanting to sell a product. So this is what we have is called a training bonus. So we've talked about commission, we've talked about a training bonus, and now we're going to talk about overrides. Overrides are compensation given for finding a wellness professional that you've introduced. That's really what it's for. It's basically a thank you from me and from Synergy Science for spreading the word, for finding someone and helping them become passionate. This override is given for introducing them, and it's expected that you'll continue to mentor and motivate that wellness professional that you've introduced to continue promoting SSI products. And there are 2 levels of override. So just to recap, there is 1 person only that ever gets commissions. There is 1 person only that gets training bonuses. And there are 2 people that get overrides. And sometimes the person getting the training bonus and the first generation override will be the same person. So that's the only 2 revenue streams from us that will go to the same person, will be the training bonus and the first generation override, that they will be receiving them at the same time. So let's look at the structure now that I've given that information. And I'm going to look in the chat just to make sure we don't have some pressing thing. Okay, it's just people saying welcome, and we hope everyone feels welcome. So let's go through this process So this is the entire compensation structure. I just talked about the commission, the training bonus, the first generation override, and the second generation override. So now let's talk about commission. The WP obviously stands for wellness professional. These are the revenue bands, $0 to 50,000. There is a 10% commission paid to the wellness professional that sold products. The next revenue band is $50,000 to $100,000 of products sold, and then they graduate to 15%. The next would be $100,000 to $200,000, and they will get 20%. And dun, da, 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 for anyone on the call that heard me speak about our commission structure in the past, this will be a surprise to you because this just happened today. Once you get over $200,000 in sales of our products, we bump you to 25%, and all personal sales beyond that 200,000 is 25%. So you're going to get 1/4 of the gross transaction, which is pretty awesome. Now, these numbers never reset. So as you continue to climb these revenue bands, they don't ever reset. They always will stay. So once you've earned 10%, once you go to 15, you're always at 15, 20, 25. But we don't want you to get complacent. We want you to keep selling. And so we have a process in place for people to mentor you. And that's what this next thing will show. I'm going to show you some examples of commissions on the Echo H2 machine and the Echo Ultimate. Now, we have many products, but I'm just sharing these two because it's easy and it's right here to put on this chart. When you're at the first band of 10%, obviously the machine being $34.95, you'll have $349.50 to start out. If it's the Ultimate, you're making $499.50. That's pretty dang good to start out per sale. That's great. When you get to the next band, you're at $524 or $749. The next, you're at $699 and basically $1,000. And then once you get over 200,000 in sales, you're at $1,248.75 and $873.75. So this gives you an example of commission on personal sales. Now, let's talk about training bonus, because this is where you can make some very serious revenue and what we call building a team. For those of you that want to just sell and make money, the commission is where you'll make personal money. And if you want to make $5,000 a month, then you can, once you get to your 25%, you can make one transaction a week and make that, that $5,000 a month. But you can see how you can earn revenue and you can make money pretty quickly with us. But this training bonus is for individuals that want to build teams of people and have fun teaching, training, mentoring, helping each other. So during this process of training, and remember what the training is for, this isn't just a placeholder, this isn't just for a fun way to pay people. We really do expect this training to occur. And what this training is teaching the individual how to sell, how to present, how to talk about studies appropriately so that we don't have to terminate someone because they're out making false claims and putting the company at risk if they're putting information out that's inappropriate. We want you to share the studies. We want you to talk about science. We want you to go out and speak truth and talk about how hydrogen can affect disease models. We just need to make sure it's done in an appropriate way. You can still talk about it. You can still share the studies all you want. We just need to make sure it's done appropriately. So your trainer, which will be the person that brings you to the business, will be responsible for teaching, training, and mentoring you how to talk about studies, how to talk about the products without making inappropriate claims. They'll teach you how to use your back office. They'll teach you how to use marketing tools. They'll teach you how to process orders. There's a lot of things that they'll do. And for this, they're going to earn $14,000 to train an individual. Now, I like to talk about this because that's one person you're training how to promote the business. Now, what we mean by training is now getting them to $200,000 in sales. This means that they know what they're doing. By the time they're done, 200,000 in sales, they should be an expert like you are because you're teaching them and training them. So this is a way to earn $14,000 while teaching this individual that you've brought to Synergy Science how to present and how to sell. So let's move to the next first generation override. Keep in mind, you're going to be receiving the training bonus and the first generation override at the same time. So you can see at the bottom of your screen, when this individual that you are mentoring and training has accomplished 200,000 in sales, you have received $10,000 in first generation override. So when you combine the 14,000 and the 10,000, you have 24,000 in a training bonus and a first generation override for the revenue that they've generated during their training process. So you can train as many people as you want. You can train them 5 at a time, 10 at a time, whatever you want to do. But if you think in terms of 10, that's $240,000 for each group of 10 people that you successfully train. I mean, you can do the math. After you've done that 4 times, you've made $1 million with us. If you just do it 1 time, then you'll make almost $250,000 with us. Now, you still will receive the first generation override after they're trained. And you'll notice here that we actually increase your override once the training process is over. Number one, we want to thank you for training that person and getting them to $200,000. We really appreciate it. And we want to thank you by increasing your override to 7% instead of 5%. And hopefully, this is the most important time that you will motivate them, continue to love on them, continue to lift them, continue to mentor them so that they continue. They've done such an amazing job of getting to 200,000 in revenue. And now they're making 25%. You're going to make 7% on an override. And so this is exactly when you want to continue to help them. Now, you're going to have this override on all the replacement filters that all those machines that equaled the $200,000 or whatever the products were that equaled the $200,000, any recurring revenue from those transactions, you have an override on a monthly basis. Now, after, I'm going to do an example here. After you've trained, and then what that means is you've taken an individual through $200,000 in sales and you've helped them, trained them, coached them, everything. And keep in mind, let's go back here on this training bonus. That first 0 to 50,000, you're getting 10%. You are getting the same revenue, actually getting more because you have your 5% override as well. This is when we're expecting you're going to be rolling up your sleeves. You're going to really be close to them, helping them, mentoring them, training them. And then once they've hit $50,000, you know, it's 10 transactions. It's not a ton, but you're right there with them during those first 10. After the next 10, you're going to be there too. But you can notice we've reduced the training bonus to 8% from 10%. Originally, I had that at 5%, but we went ahead and made it 8% because we want to keep you excited and in the game, training them. So you're going to have 10% for the first, then 8%, then you go to 5%, because after they've done, you know, 100,000 in revenue, we hope they know a lot already. You've trained them well. And so now this next $100,000 cycle, you're there to assist, but hopefully they're almost an expert, right? So let's go over to here, this first generation override after you're done training. So now imagine they've done 200,000 in revenue. You're no longer receiving a training bonus, but now you're receiving 7% override. And understand, if you had 10 people that you successfully went through training, and they're now all doing 2 transactions a month or selling 2 machines only per month, which is obviously easy to do, but all they're doing is selling 2 ultimate machines for $10,000 a month. Your monthly override would be $7,000. And so that's the way you want to look at this. You want to keep your team motivated. You want to keep them continuing to sell because they love the products. They were trained well. It seems easy to them, or not, as difficult as other things in life. This is the reality. After you've trained 10, you've made 240,000. Well, now you keep them going and you're going to earn 7,000 a month on an override. Now, let's say that you did another 10 and another 10 and another 10. That $7,000 is going to increase, to 14, 21, 30, 28,000 a month. It'll continue to go up as you are an excellent trainer. So it really comes down to your ability to find and train people. So I hope this makes sense so far. Let's talk about your total. I kind of already did this, but I want to go over it again. If you train 10 wellness professionals, you'll earn $240,000 during that process. And of course, to be trained, they have processed $200,000 in sales. So I want you to understand that's what it means to us when you've trained someone, is that they've gone through the process and they really, really, really know what they're doing, and they are excellence when they're doing what they're doing. Now let's talk about the second generation override. This is the person that brought you. You brought others, they brought you. So now this is 2 levels away from the individual selling. And that's as deep as we go as a company, but there's still a lot of power in here. So understand, let's say you're training someone and you're getting the first generation override on their sales. The person who brought you to the company and trained you initially is going to get $10,000 during the process of training. And so they do well also, and they should be there to mentor you. While you're training new people, they're there to help you know how to train and what to do. They're your backup. Now, these second generation overrides add up, because during training one professional, they're going to earn $10,000. If you end up doing the 10 to make your 240,000, then 10 times 10 is 100. So they're going to make 100,000 in overrides. And then after, they're going to make 6% after the training period is over. So it's still a motivation for them to mentor and continue to be involved. There's a study out there where it talks about that people really can't manage relationships more than 2 generations away from each other, which is why I did a 2-level, or what we call 2-generation override. Nobody knows anyone much past 2 generations anyways. And this is really where your relationships are, is 2 relationships away from you is about where people live. I'm not saying you don't know people that are 4 levels, away from you, but it's not typical that you're close. So this process really rewards people for doing the right behaviors. This second generation and first generation really keeps you there to mentor people, to train them, to make sure everyone is doing and saying what they're supposed to be doing, so that we keep the integrity high. We don't want just anybody. We want people that are serious. We want people that want to understand science and are willing to put time in to be trained and to train others on how to be professionals. I'm not calling you salespeople. We're not calling you distributors. We're calling you wellness professionals, because that's exactly what we want from you, is for you to be professional and for you to be a wellness mindset, a wellness person, and in this case, a wellness professional, because of the way you're going to conduct and communicate about our products. Now, on the second generation override, on a wellness professional that trains 10 wellness professionals, and 11 of them are now generating 2 transactions a month. They're still $6,600 a month. While the first generation would give 7,000 a month, the second generation will be 6,600. And so again, we're wanting 2 levels of support. We're wanting to make sure this person has 2 people to go to. Maybe one of you is in Cancun enjoying vacation. Well, the other can join and make sure they support you and they're there. So we always want 2 levels of support. And then of course, at corporate, we're there to support as well. But we're really expecting that the field leaders will train and mentor the individuals that they're bringing in. We're willing to pay, obviously, for that.